Hello, little monsters. Looks like tonight's gonna be another beautiful night. What's that? You want to hear the new intro?
Yeah!
Why, of course you can. Hit it!
Full moon rising, outside night is falling. You hear the wolfmen calling and hide under your bed. Dry your eyes, hon. He's only feeling blue and might like to talk to you and make a friend. I know you're scared. It's only natural to be scared of the things that we don't understand. In the morning, we can talk about it. Maybe think about it too. 'Cause monsters are a lot like me. They're a lot like me and you. Monsters, monsters.
Today, we're having a celebration of one of America's premier horror authors. Can you guess who it is, little monsters?
Edgar Allan Poe.
That's right! Except for the kid who said Toni Morrison. She's a fantastic author, but I wouldn't call her a horror author.
I don't know. Beloved was kind of creepy.
You've read Toni Morrison.
I went on a weekend bender, and when I woke up, I discovered that I joined Aunt Viv's book club.
Well, today we're celebrating Edgar Allan Poe. And to mark the occasion, we're watching a film inspired by one of his stories.
Mask of the Red Death.
One of my favorites. But no, it's not in the public domain.
The Raven.
Not in the public domain.
The Pit and the Pendulum with Vincent Price.
Also not public, but you're very close. It's the 1967 film The Blood Demon, which is very loosely based on The Pit and the Pendulum.
The Blood Demon, that's the worst name I've ever heard.
It's also known as the torture chamber of Dr. Sadism.
I take it back. That's the worst name I've ever heard of.
We'll talk more about the feature film and more about Edgar Allan Poe after this.
Want a webcomic with werewolves, worms, and vampanzees? Never mind, don't ask about the vampanzees. Follow the adventures of Maria as she befriends the misfit monsters of the Skeleton Crew, from the adorkable Zomboid to terrifying toddler Peekaboo. What frightening forces wait for them in the shadows? Find out, if you dare. Skeleton Crew. Read it for free at tangentartist.com or on Webtoon.
Tonight's film, The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, was made in 1967 during the time when several European countries were trying to make cheap films on the fly with English-speaking leads. In Italy, they were making spaghetti westerns. In Germany, they were similarly making, Spätzle westerns? Italy was making giallo, cutting-edge modern-day horror. German film directors tried some of that too, but they worked with what they had, and after all, what does Germany have that Italy does not?
Decent beer, punctuality, an obsession with Hasselhoff.
No, well, actually, yes, but the answer I was looking for is gothic castles. So when making a horror film in Germany, why not make a gothic horror? Which brings us to The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, a spooky gothic adventure which features Christopher Lee, famous for playing Count Dracula. In this film, Lee plays the evil, sadistic Count Dracula. Sorry, Count Regula, who is caught murdering people and draining the blood of 12 maidens. Count Dracula, Regula, is then caught with the help of his final intended victim and the local prosecutor and is killed. Now 40 years later, the Count's service attempts to bring Count Dracula, Regula, back from the grave to extract his revenge on the children of those who thwarted him.
Regula.
Yes, I know, Regula. Yes, thank you.
Count Frederick Regula has been found guilty of torturing and murdering people in his castle at Andamine. The court has found that he must pay with his life. There is incontestable proof that 12 persons have died by his hand. In view of the enormity of these crimes, the court has decided to alter the usual punishment by decapitation, as such an execution can never repay him for his gruesome deeds. He is sentenced to be quartered.
Reinhold von Marienberg, I shall destroy you and all your family.
liberarnos a malo ame.
Thank God you were able to escape from that madman. Without your help, we never would have captured him.
I'm afraid this is only the beginning. I wish none of this had ever happened.
Yes, gather round, good citizens of Bergenstadt. The wretched murderer was drawn and quartered 35 years ago. The sentence, they say, was fair and just. The winds of justice did blow. Once confronted with his evil deeds, confession he made without delay. Bound with strongest chains of iron, he was tortured in this way. His plea for mercy was ignored. The court's decision was firm. Killers all must pay for their crimes, and hell is the place where they burn. His legs and arms were then torn from their sockets by a team of 4 powerful horses. A crack, a shout, and life flickered out. For the monster called Count Reg...
What was his name?
Drive on.
Yeah, tell us who was he. Who was he? We want to know. Tell us.
You need wait no longer, good people of Bergenstadt. I will tell you. He was called Regular. Frederick. Count Regular.
Regular.
Good night. Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Roger Montelis, the lawyer. Am I right?
What do you want from me? Dear sir, I know that you'd like to find out about your past. I can help you. You'll find me at my castle at Andamai in the Sanda Valley Mountains. I shall be waiting for you this Friday. Count Frederick Regular. Now, who's he?
I was just about to lock up for the night.
Not yet. I've work for you to do. I'll have to cancel all our current proceedings. I'm leaving for the Midlands in a short while.
The Abbott's case isn't finished.
Much more important cases come up. My own.
Gather round, good citizens of Lindenheim, and let me recite the horrible tale. It concerns the blood-curdling deeds of a wicked count who slaughtered his victims in his castle on the mount. Mine is a story you've not heard before. At the end of its telling, you'll sleep soundly no more. It is said he signed a pact with the devil, and so caused great suffering and evil. Above her drawbridge and under her towers, in the Sander Valley, the castle cowers.
Won't you come, Baroness? Someone's telling a story about your mother's country.
Live and die within the castle called Andermatt. Yet blind fate condemned their noble name to be covered with blood, dishonor, and shame.
We're getting close to the heart of the Midlands. Knock again.
Excuse us. I wonder if you'd be kind enough to give our horses some hay.
Clementine!
Sire, your clothes are all covered with dust. If you want, I'll brush them.
Yes, if you like. Can you tell me where the castle Andermatt is?
Andermatt? No, I'm sorry.
Oh, it must be around here somewhere. They say it's in the Sander Valley.
Grandpa, this gentleman's looking for a castle. Andermatt it's called. Can you tell him where it is?
Excuse me. Is the castle Andermatt near here?
Andermatt? Good Lord in heaven. On our souls and deliver us from our sin.
What kind of a procession is that?
It's a procession to drive out the man-eating monster in the valley.
Who's that old man with a beard?
He's a saint. If anyone knows where Andermatt is, he does.
Thank you. Excuse me. I don't like to disturb your meditations, but I've come a long way. Can you tell me where the castle Andermatt is? Must be somewhere in the Sander Valley.
The castle Andermatt? The older townsfolk have forgotten it. The young folk have never heard of it.
Why?
Count Regula was the last to live there. That's where he killed the 12 virgins.
And then?
Count Regula was drawn and quartered.
But what about his sons and grandsons?
His name was handed down to no man. His lands lie fallow and his castle has crumbled away. On moonless nights, I've heard the devil himself is seen.
I was invited by Count Regula to his castle. He sent me this letter by messenger. It has the date of the month and the year on it. And you can see, there is a Count Regular.
The Count died over 35 years ago in the square. I warn you, a great danger awaits you. Take heed, young man.
Sir. I'm told you're looking for Castle Andermai.
Yes, do you know where it is?
Oh, but of course I do, although I've never been there before.
Is it true what these people say around here?
Don't pay attention to them. You can't believe a word these people say. Peasants, all that's what they are. Do you mind if I come along? Yes, you see, I must baptize a child near there. Yes, it seems that beautiful young girl is going in the same direction.
Get in.
Bless you. You won't believe what the townsfolk here call the lonely castle under the bloody castle.
The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in the bleak December, and each dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, and vainly I had sought to borrow from my book surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, 'tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. 'Tis some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. It is, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. Sir, said I, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that scarce I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore. Let me heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, therein stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord and lady perched above my chamber door, perched above the bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Thou thy crest be shorn and shaven, though, I said, thou art no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering the one nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on this night's Plutonian shore. Quote the Raven. But the Raven, sitting lonely on the pallid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul that one word did it pour. Nothing further did he utter, not a feather did he flutter, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before, on the morrow he will leave me, and my hopes you'll have flown before. Then the bird said, never. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed by some unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch! I cried, thy God hath lent thee, by thy angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite in nepenthe, thy memories of Lenore. Oh, quaff! Oh, quaff! 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 This kind nepenthe and forget this lost Lenore, quote the Raven. Quote the Raven. Quote the Raven, never more. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I stood up charting, get thy back into the tempest and night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black blue plume as a token that thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, take thy form from off thy door. Quote the Raven. Good, good, good. Ow. And the Raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the scheming of the angel demon that is dreaming. Damp lamp o'er, stream upon the shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Life, I never saw a bigger coward than he was, really. Sorry. We ought to have another nip in honor of all the cowards, stupid these peasants are. The poor idiots all think that this entire part of the country's haunted. Some even say that they've seen the devil himself riding on a man's back. Like you, a good-sized fellow. They say he pounced on him like a tiger, and he wouldn't get off his back till the poor man fell over dead. If they had checked a bit more carefully, they'd have been shocked if the devil was an ordinary robber.
What's the matter?
Who were they? The locals would say those were the 7 deadly sins.
Drive on.
But what if they try to ambush us out there?
Drive on.
You are extremely courageous, sir.
Not really. I'm making this trip to find out finally who I really am. And I'll let neither robbers nor highwaymen stop me.
But you must know who you are.
I don't even know who my mother and father were, or where I was born.
There's another coach ahead.
Oh, the carriage of that lovely young woman. Ay, 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 ay. Our trip's getting interesting.
We've got to do something.
Are you injured?
No. No, thank the good Lord. If you hadn't come along just then,
I was sure we were done for.
May I introduce myself? I'm Roger Montalise.
Oh, I'm Lillian von Brabant, and this is my servant, Babette. I hope you realize how grateful we are to you.
They were robbers. Has anything been stolen?
No, nothing at all, but
Then don't let it upset you.
they made off with our driver, though.
Have you any idea why you were attacked?
No, not the least notion. We were on our way to Castle Andermatt, where Count Regula lives. Do you know Count Regula?
No, but we both seem to be going the same way. Can I offer you my coach?
Thank you.
Driver, the ladies are coming with us. See to their trunk, will you?
How peculiar. They're exactly alike. You're to learn about your past and your identity, while I take possession of my mother's estate.
Was she from here?
Yes, she was born near here.
A great deal of money?
I've no idea, but if it is, it would certainly be opportune. This is the only thing of value she gave me before she died. I also inherited her musical ability. I give piano lessons. That's how I'm able to make a livelihood. It's my only source of income.
All I have from my family is this medallion. I don't even know my own name. When I was a little boy, I was left a letter of credit, a bag of gold, and this medallion. It has on it a mountain and the figure of a saint.
May I?
From this design, I was given my name. Mount Elise, Mount for mountain, Elise for Elizabeth.
You inherited a royal name.
He's right. Only members of the aristocracy are allowed to have such a coat of arms. But since when does the aristocracy neglect its children like that?
That's what I'm hoping to find out at Castle Andermatt. You wanted to come with us to the guest house. Is it still far away?
We'll be there any second now. The innkeeper's a connoisseur of wines. It's a gourmet's paradise he has there. Just ask him for his specialty, roast beef.
Well, here you are.
Of course, you're all my guests.
That's very thoughtful of you.
When was the last time you were here?
Well, it was over a month ago, I think.
And just how long ago were you asked to perform a christening?
Let's see now, it was around...
I don't trust him. I think we should head for her while it's still light. What if something should...
Smoke! They're in the doorway!
tell me how far it is to the Castle Andaman?
The bloody castle. Yeah, he's deaf and dumb. I'll try sign language.
That's senseless. Leave him. Well, what are you going to do, Father? There's no baby to christen now.
Obviously not.
What are you going to do?
Oh, if you don't mind, I'll go on with you. We might meet someone who's going back to the village.
In many countries, the sign language of the deaf and dumb is also the language of thieves. Where did you learn?
We have many deaf mutes in the parish I work in, my son.
Oh, don't leave us, Father.
I wish I knew what the devil this means.
As far as I'm going, I'm not going to risk my life because of you. I have a wife and children. This place is evil. My heart can't take it.
There's nothing to be afraid of. Be sensible. Here, take this and drive us on.
No, I won't go. I refuse
No
to.
harm will come to you, my son. Drive on, you fool.
My nerves, my heart.
I'll climb up there, do you hear? Move. The priest must have several languages at his command.
Since when do priests carry pistols?
Ever since priests were sent to God-forsaken places like this.
Strange. Nothing was changed at that guest house. But the old man had disappeared.
Yes, that's most curious.
Not at all. The driver scared him away. It's as simple as that.
Foggy. We're going to have a hard time of it.
Go on. Fog or not.
If you say so. If you say so.
Now, what is it, you idiot?
Don't you hear? I can't stand it. The forest full of voices and strange creatures.
The imbecile's imagining things.
Sir, I saw 3 black crows back there. It's an omen of the devil when they appear on a holy day.
You conspiracy, you stupid superstition.
We ought to go back.
Calm yourself. Drive on.
It's no use going on, especially on Good Friday. It'll be dark very soon. We'll never come back alive. Listen to what I say.
That's enough, you. Drive on. Drive on, I said. That's what I get for snoring. I must have dozed off. Now that surprises me more than it does you. I've never been caught napping before.
Where are we?
We're in the forest, aren't we? We're lost in the deserted forest. I hope the ladies aren't afraid of the dark. We went over the root of a tree. We're lucky that the driver didn't stop. Highwaymen are common in the forest. Oh, that's why it's dangerous to be caught napping.
What made you suddenly think of highwaymen?
Nothing at all. The Lord protect us. Hey, what's that? What the devil are you up to? You're not driving a load of animals?
Something's wrong.
I'd rather you stayed here.
Don't worry. Hey.
What happened?
For a lady, you better stay here. Come on, Father.
He said he had a weak heart.
He's dead.
It's hideous. Look.
Do you see that? He's still moving. He must not be dead yet. Maybe we can save him.
we do without a light?
Lilia.
Father. Father. Father Fabian, where are you?
Hold on, I'm Father Fabian. Someone hit me.
They've stolen the coach.
We'll catch up to it as long as we can hear it. Once the sound disappears, it's not going to be so simple.
I can't be far away. Castle and the mine.
A bloody castle. Nothing but ruins.
Hello again, it's Princeton Vice, and I hope you're enjoying the film. As today is a celebration of Edgar Allan Poe, we thought we'd take a little time and focus on some of his poems. For example, one of my favorite poems of his is Conqueror Worm, which shows up in Tomb of Ligeia. It doesn't have much to do with this film, but it's a really fun and ambient and creepy. So what you're really saying is that you wanted to show the film Tomb of Ligeia with Vincent Price, but that wasn't in public domain. Yeah, that's also true too. But it's still a lot of fun, and we're gonna make our own little worm puppets. And Murray's gonna go over that poem in just a minute. I will. Yes, you will. I hate culture. So what you're gonna need for today's experiment: a glove that's gonna be cloth on one side with rubber treated on the other. You can typically get these at most hardware stores, and if you're lucky, you can sometimes get them at some 7-Elevens and convenience stores too. You're going to also need some type of marker, like such as ones you can get from the dollar store. I'm also going to try to do it two ways today, where I'm going to try to mix paint and textile medium. In theory, these two can be mixed together to make paint that will work well over cloth. Let's give it a try and see if it works. That's all you have to use. I'm also going to get a silicone rubber glove as well, and you'll see how that makes filling in some of the cracks a little bit easier. Now this stuff, always read the instructions on the side of the bottle, but this one says it needs 2 parts medium to 1 part paint. Now you can get out your measuring spoons from your kitchen, but that would ruin them. So a nice little trick I found is Dixie cups, or little tiny medicine cups, because some of them also have natural lines on there. So you can just use an arbitrary line on there to make sure it's 2-to-1 ratio, and then just toss them out if you're done. Let's get started. And while I do, Murray is going to share that poem.
Conqueror Worm by Edgar Allan Poe. Schmo. Lo, 'tis a gala night within the lonesome ladder years. An angel throng, bewinged, bedight, in veils and drowned in tears. Sit in a theater to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes in the form of God on high mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they who come and go, at bidding of vast formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping out their condor wings in visible woe. That motley drama, oh be sure, it shall not be forgot. with its phantom chased forevermore by the crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth in to the selfsame spot, and much of madness and more of sin, and horror the soul of the plot. But see amid the mimic rout a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that writhes from out the scenic solitude. It writhes with mortal pangs, the mimes become its food, and seraph sob at vermin fangs in human gore imbued. Out are the lights, out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain of funeral pall comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels all pallid and wan, uprising unveiling affirm that the play is the tragedy Man, and its hero, Conqueror Worm.
Alright, so we've colored both of our gloves. Our one with the medium is drying right now. The other one with the Sharpie is still on my hand right now. You'll notice I put the glove on there because it lets me stretch it out so that we can fill in the cracks a little bit more. If you take it off, you can still draw it, but when you wear it off, you'll get a little bit more of white little lines in between. Now, this particular one, the first time I tried this as a test sample a while ago, the red worked perfectly, color matched automatically. This one, it was a little darker, and it was also a little fainter, so I think what happened is that this one's probably a little bit more dried out. So I used some of the orange to complement it and also try to match the color somewhere in between. Not perfect, but good if you don't want to run to the craft store for craft medium. You can just make it yourself. And now we're going to go ahead and use our marker to add some small details on there. Let's start with our index finger. I'm going to make little tiny narcs where we want our eyes to be. And then we decide what expression we want our little guy to have. Well, he's a giant, terrible worm who's eating up all of humanity one by one, but I bet he loves his job. So let's go ahead and give him a little happy smile there. There we go. There we go. He's a little guy who loves his job. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So, we can just go with one little worm, but that's no fun. Let's go ahead and fill 5 worms. So, we're going to put little tiny expressions on all of them. And maybe this guy's a little sad. It's okay to be sad sometimes, isn't it, little guy? Yeah, it is. I'm sad for humanity. Yes, you are. Mew. He got a little sad. I'm going to show you my middle finger. He's a little sad, isn't he? Alright, let's go put some more expressions on the other guys here. Let's see if our fine tip will be a little bit nicer to us. Oh, so much better. That fine tip really makes a difference. To get a better expression, I took the glove off, so now it's going to let me squeeze my fingers all the way to the tip so I can get a nice surface to brace against. So there we go. 5 little expressions from 5 little worms go crawly, 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 crawly. And I hope you liked this video, and I hope you have little worms of your own. Crawly. Say bye, worms.
I was afraid of that. We've fallen into a trap. We'll never get out of here. We'd better start praying. I don't see any other way.
Welcome, my friends, to the house of Count Regular.
What's going on here? I know who's playing that piano. Where is she? Where is Lillian von Brabant? I asked you, where is she?
Your friends are fortunate indeed. Luckily, I had a chance to prevent an accident, or they would have been killed. And now, gentlemen, will you come this way, please? Madame, two guests have come to see the Count. Roger Montelise and the cleric, undoubtedly a friend of his.
It's indeed an honor to welcome you. Please consider my house as your own. Welcome, Monseigneur. You must be famished by your journey. Anatole, tell the servants to prepare a banquet, roast beef, the very best.
This is Good Friday, Madame.
Oh, I see. Well then, please, sir, what you wish, Anatole. But while they're waiting for their supper, at least give our guests a drink or they'll die of thirst.
What have you done to her?
She seemed so upset, I thought it best if I administered a soothing drug. The potion is a very gentle one. It'll wear off before the Count gets here.
That's ridiculous. The Count's been dead for 35 years.
For you, he will rise from the dead.
Just a minute. Where is Babette?
There's no need to worry.
You're boring our guests. Come here, take a look at my paintings.
You can hardly refuse her.
It's such expressive painting.
Lily.
Seems to me we know each other. Do you travel this way often?
Lillian, pull yourself together.
It's just as if you were one of the family. Oh, forgive me for not noticing. You didn't need to bring a present. What a lovely thought. It shows that you have a most unusual taste. Yes. Thank you so much.
Lily.
Serve our guests first.
You must be careful. I managed to avoid
Hurry up. Our guests are thirsty.
water. At last.
I know the work of the devil when I see it. Out of 3 glasses of wine, which one was full of acid? My glass. You wanted to have me murdered, didn't you? I'll make you pay for that.
Oh, but Monseigneur.
And stop calling me that. I'm not a Monseigneur. I make my living by thievery, by highway robbery, understand? I was counting on making a nice haul at the inn, if only it hadn't disappeared. Hey, if you get me out of here, I'll go easy on you.
Each of you will be on his way out of here in his own time. Good wine goes flat if it's too old. Come.
Babette! What's going on? Where am I? Oh, my God. The forest. Then we were attacked. Taken to a deserted house. How do I get out? I've got to get out! Let me out of here! Please let me out!
The potion he gave her is wearing off.
I've got to get out! Let me out! Let me out!
Lillian, it's all right now. You're not alone anymore.
Roger.
I'll stay with you.
Roger. Oh, Roger. Oh, Roger, I'm frightened. This house, it's horrible. It's so frightening. And those paintings look so evil. I don't know how, but we've got to get out of here. We'll be killed. We don't have a minute to lose, Roger. We must get out. Look over there. Those curtains hide the way out. That woman. It can't be true, Roger. It's me, isn't it? It's an incredible likeness. Seems almost as if you and I were painted together.
I don't know. But I'll find out. A man being torn apart. There must be Count Regula.
But you're the one standing next to me. How can it be possible? Isn't that your coat of arms?
One thing I know now is people that brought me up explained my coat of arms incorrectly. Marienburg means Mount Mary, but they told me my name was Montelise, St. Elizabeth. Berg is mountain, but the saint isn't Elizabeth. It's the Virgin Mary. In some strange way, you and I are connected with that picture.
Can't imagine how we're involved. We're both strangers in this region.
Did your mother ever tell you of any experiences that she might have had when she lived here?
No. In fact, I was forbidden to mention the past. That was the only subject she always avoided.
Lillian, I've got to find out the secret of this castle. And I must meet this Count Regula. I have to get to the bottom of this. Lillian, will you help me?
Yes.
They're all devils! It's inhuman what those monsters are doing to her!
What's the matter? What's happened?
I'll show you. Come with me. This is nothing for a woman. She'd better stay here.
No, I won't leave her alone again. Come. Let's go.
All right.
Babette. 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 Oh.
Are you all right?
He attacked me. The servant tried to strangle me.
Can you walk? lock?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Babette! Go in. Close your eyes. I'll lead you.
No, thank you. It's all right.
You must learn that obedience is the most important quality that a servant can have.
Not so fast. I find you won't get away with it, you monster.
I've been dead for years. They hanged me.
Dead?
Yes.
What do you mean?
If a man is taken from the gallows soon after he's been hung, his body can be rendered invulnerable.
I must be seeing things. Do you mean to say that you didn't feel a thing?
Not a thing. Sorry, but you didn't leave a single scratch. Now, where's the girl? Babette.
Please, Roger, let's get out of this place.
What about your inheritance?
I don't care. Where's Babette?
She disappeared. The butler, dead as a doornail. He's a walking dead man. I suppose you think I've gone out of my mind, but it's the truth.
This way, my friends. Count Regular awaits you. This way.
No.
The girl's right. Let's go back upstairs. It's a lot safer.
I advise you to do as you're told. Otherwise, my master will lose patience with you. Now, come. Stop. The passage on the right. Through the door.
Stay here.
Roger, what's going on?
Get back. Stay where you are.
You need go no further. So, have you found anything to amuse you?
So these are the 12 murdered girls.
Yes. But that's no reason why you shouldn't make yourselves at home. Come forward, Lillian von Brabant. My master, Count Regular, was drawn and quartered. No matter how they tore apart the good Count, his spirit is still intact. Before he met his death, my master charged me with a difficult mission. I've been carrying out his orders ever since. Everything has been done as he requested. Only his final wish remains unfulfilled. The wish that he be restored to life on Good Friday. And this particular Good Friday, he shall live again. There is a force here I cannot stand. A cross.
My cross. I don't have it anymore.
I didn't take it.
So you had the cross.
In the coach, I was going to give it to you, and
I can't tolerate the presence of a cross. Get out of here this minute. Get out, do you hear?
Fabian!
Turn the other way. You are not pure enough to witness such a solemn act. Frederick, Count Regular, is risen from the dead. Roger von Marienberg, the son of that man. Lillian von Brabant, the daughter of that woman.
Welcome to my house. Has everything been done as we planned?
Just as you wished. There were many obstacles I had to overcome, yet my devotion to you, Master, gave your humble servant all the powers necessary to accomplish every detail of his mission.
This is a great moment for me. I will not detain you long, but I feel I owe you an explanation. For many years, I have sought the secret of eternal life. And finally, I have found that secret. The blood is the life. Once I unlocked the secret of life, immortality was within my reach. Yet in order to succeed, I needed the blood of 13 women. I found 12. They struggled against death. It was that desire to live that I required. The 13th escaped me. Lillian von Brabant, your mother turned me over to the authorities. Roger von Marienberg Your father sentenced me to death. But before I was arrested, I was able to take some of the blood concentrate. And so I have returned after 35 years for my revenge. All I need is a few hours. Time makes no difference to the dead. My other orders, Anatole?
To exterminate all of the judge's family, that I have done. Every single soul. But the son, he escaped. They took him to another city, far from here. And after that, I was arrested and hanged. But because of your great kindness, they were cheated of a victim. You left me the elixir of life, life eternal. Just before my execution, I drank half of the flask. That is what saved my body from deteriorating. And so I live to carry out your wishes, to track down the last member of the von Marienberg family here before you.
Lillian von Brabant. You will take your mother's place. I have the blood of 12 virgins. You shall be the 13th, who will give me eternal life. You'll never get that chance.
Roger!
No! It is not enough.
Oh, I hear surfer music. You know what that means. Time for another deep dive. Dance with me. Today, I want to go into a little detail about the works of a talented artist of yesteryear.
Let me guess, Edgar Allan Poe.
No, actually, I want to talk about Hieronymus Bosch.
What? You said yourself this is an episode celebrating Edgar Allan Poe.
Aw, you were paying attention. Look at you getting all invested in the show.
What? No, I don't care. I mean, your face is invested. Ooh, sick burn. Murray out.
Aw, he's so sweet sometimes. Hieronymus Bosch was a 15th and 16th century painter from the Netherlands. Not a whole lot of details of his life have survived, but luckily a number of his works did. His preferred medium was oil on wood, and he generally painted triptychs was the style at the time. A triptych is a set of 3 panels, usually of religious theme, that serves as a decoration for an altar. The central painting is the most important, but the 2 side paintings can serve different functions. Sometimes they would expand the scene, letting you go from full screen to widescreen. Other times they would paint different scenes on the same theme, or 3 different time periods, like an old school comic strip. Now Bosch did paint some normal triptychs, like manger scenes and the Passion, but where he really shined was his fantastical paintings. The medieval period had no shortage of strange, chimerical creatures, but Bosch frequently depicted demons as twisted, composite, and darkly comical things. To quote art historian Walter Gibson, he depicted a world of dreams and nightmares in which forms seemed to flicker and change before our eyes. One of the best examples of this was the Garden of Earthly Delights. The first part of the triptych, the Garden of Eden. It has what you'd expect. Adam, Eve, a bunch of animals. But even here you get strange elements, like a fountain that looks half crab, half fruit, and a cave that looks like every Disney World attraction mashed into one. Now the center panel is just weird, just plain weird. It features naked people and fruit, but it's far from realistic. It's got birds larger than humans. It's got a giant strawberry with a tail wearing a pretty ribbon riding on someone's back. It's got whatever this is. And funny thing is, no one knows what message Bosch was trying to make. Is this the symbolism for lust and idleness? Or was this the paradise humans could have had if they had stayed in Eden? Or was Bosch just tripping on some psychedelic ergot in his rye? Or was he just horny on Maine? I mean, that's a lot of naked people. Who knows? But whatever it is, it's about to get very dark. Last and most famous is the third panel, a nightmare scene in hell. And it has the things you'd expect, like fire and torture and demons. It has depictions of sin, like gambling and lechery. And then there's stuff that just baffles the viewer, like a giant man who's also a pair of trees on boats, who's hollowed out with a hat that's a platter with a bagpipe on it. A bird demon judge who also is an hourglass with a pot on his head. But you might recognize this section, a huddle of damned souls tortured in various musical ways. Set painters lifted it for today's movie. It's got a lot of the same feature, a figure crucified on a harp, a frog-mouthed demon, a man with a butt trumpet. Yes, this shows up in a lot of medieval art, though no one knows why, but they're a thing. Butt trumpets. But they left out a few things. One, there's no hurdy-gurdy, as apparently it's not evil enough, or perhaps it's so evil that even Count Regula finds it too sadistic. Remember, kids, beware the hurdy-gurdy. Second, on the left side, they left off this, a sinner's butt with a series of notes inscribed with the frog tongue. The best part is that hundreds of years later, musicians decide to transcribe this, and it's a legit song. Bosch not only created hell, but also wrote a soundtrack for it and transcribed it on someone's buns. We'd like to play a sample, but you've been listening to it already. Neat, huh? Now, Hieronymus Bosch has lots of other neat paintings, like a painting of St. Julia that was actually a painting of St. Wilgefortis, the saintess with a beard, but I could spend a whole deep dive just on her. He would inspire many later artists such as Peter Bruegel the Elder and Salvador Dali. And that's our deep dive on Hieronymus Bosch. I hope this segment helped you appreciate medieval art and this movie a little bit more. Speaking of which, let's get back to it. The torture chamber of Dr. Sadism.
No! It is not enough.
Roger!
Roger von Marienburg will die. It will be an agonizing death.
No!
He means something to you? That is good. Laboratory's in order. Is she ready? Still difficult. Her blood gives me the elixir I need for eternal life, but she has not enough fear. If she were to watch his execution, do you think it would help? No. Untie her.
Stand up. Come here. Come! Go to the pedestal. Look through the mask. Can help him. Except you.
Yes, I will.
Behind those women there is a door that leads to a passageway, and from there to the pendulum chamber. She will try to get to him, and in this way her fear will grow greater.
We should be getting started.
It will pass quickly.
It is time.
A few more seconds and my vengeance is complete. Fabian, you! Thank God you're alive. How much more time?
About 1,000 heartbeats, sir.
The acid.
Where's Lillian? I've been locked in a cell. I haven't seen anyone.
She must be in danger.
But we don't have a chance against that devil.
Why didn't that butler bring the Count back to life in the beginning?
The most important thing is to save her.
She must be in the torture chamber. The concentrator works well. The time has come to take the blood of the 13th. Place the tube in the artery of the throat. Good. So you have escaped the pendulum. Congratulations. Let her go. She is preparing herself for her greatest moment.
Master, the concentrator's not working.
You are carrying something which is breaking the magic circle. Maybe it's this. Throw it away. Let her go. Destroy that cross and she is free. As free as those 12? Destroy it. If you don't. I know as well as you do. If I don't, you turn to dust. Destroy that cross! This hourglass is your life. How many more seconds do you have without that elixir?
Destroy the cross.
I, too, have a pendulum. The pendulum that will destroy you.
Throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it away.
Pleasure.
Here we are! I finally found it!
Babette. Babette.
Get in. We'll take you anywhere you like.
Which way should we go?
Anywhere you say.
Come on, Babette. All's well that ends well, eh? Hey! Little funny face.
Roger, the horrid things that went on last night, it was only a dream, wasn't it?
It could all have been a bad dream. Me, this is real.
Well, everybody, that was the torture chamber of Dr. Sadism. Did you enjoy it, kids?
Yeah!
I know I did, and I'm going to discuss it in today's Shiver Lining. Yeah, we haven't had one of these in a while. We've had some pretty full schedules. So, I like to focus on some of the things about the film I really enjoy. Is it perfect? Oh, gosh, no. However, it does have some really fun moments in there. For example, it starts off as your traditional melodrama, which I'm a huge fan of. You have a square-chinned hero, you've got a heroine of a mysterious past, you've got a highwayman in disguise, which I always love highwaymen. It's fantastic. The first half of it builds up to them entering this big old gothic castle, which you can obviously tell they blew their entire budget on, because it's just 3 or 4 different rooms that they just circle them around in and change the window dressing to have ever more increasingly elaborate death traps. And it reminds me a lot of the old Adam West Batman with some really cheesy special effects with the flapping alligators. Is it realistic? No. Does it have anything to do with Poe? No, not really, other than giving us an excuse to make a Poe-themed episode. But it just has this level of excitement and fun. Christopher Lee, of course, is in it and does a great job. He's not in it that terribly much, and his character doesn't really do all that much, but I don't mind. I theorize that's why they put him in the mask, is so they could have him, not there on the weekends. But it's okay. And the assistant villain, Carl Lang, actually does a really good job. He sells the undead very, very well. So for a German actor, he really does a good job of holding up the foundation of it with Christopher Lee as a beautiful little cherry on top. And you gotta admit, that forest scene with the forest of bodies was actually a pretty stunning visual. I enjoyed many parts of this, and I hope you enjoyed them too.
Hey, Princeton? So why does the Mr. Regular need fear blood? Why not just ordinary blood?
Tippy, that sounds like a science question.
Oh.
And you know who we should ask for a science question? Dr. Buggy!
Who the hell is that?
Let's summon him in the traditional scientific way, with a scientific summoning circle.
What makes it scientific?
We use the metric system. Everyone have their candles and number 2 athames at home?
Have a crayon.
Good enough.
Okay.
What's the invocation, Princeton?
To summon Dr. Buggy, we have to say, chocolate shakes and chicken nuggies. We've a science question for Dr. Buggy. You're going to help us, right?
Please.
Everyone! Chocolate shakes and chicken nuggies. We've a science question for Dr. Buggy. It, didn't work.
No.
Because somebody didn't say it. Yeah. You.
Yeah.
Did somebody say science?
We sure did, Dr. Buggy. And Tippy here had a question about today's movie.
Well, ask away then.
Tippy and I want to know, does fear change our bodies?
Ooh, an excellent question, Tippy. Fear does indeed change our bodies.
How does fear change our bodies, Doc?
Well.
Are you going to explain or just stand there?
Well, I had a... Wait, where is it? Hang on, I have a visual aid. It's in here. Well. Our fear is controlled by something called our sympathetic nervous system. Bring the camera a bit closer here. When we're stressed, or scared or in danger, our adrenal glands, connected to these happy little kidneys over here, send a message down the spinal cord like a snow day phone message telling our organs to stand by.
Respond how?
Well, Murray, our sympathetic nervous system prepares us to do one of 2 things. Fight off our enemies, or run away. It's called the fight or flight response.
So when I scream to scare off predators, that's my fear hormones telling me to do that?
Yes, indeed. Your fear hormones are telling you to stand your ground and scream.
I'm just not sure I get it.
Well, maybe Dr. Buggy can tell us how our body responds to fear exactly.
Oh, it would be my pleasure, Princeton. Igor, give me a 4-bar intro on that octagon. Aye, that's the stuff. First, your heart starts a-pumping, your pulse a-jumping like a kangaroo. Then your muscles are tensing, your senses sensing everything around you. That's thanks to adrenaline.
What's adrenaline?
Well, my dears, as the source of our supernatural force of our, that's the science of fear. Adrenaline's the hormone that's secreted when our brain gets frightened, overstimulated, or it signals pain to run or fight our enemies. It's nature's monster energy mixed up with a shot of Novocaine. It helps us stay alive when we're fighting to survive and can help revive us when we need a boost. So no wonder every magic school of black starts for fiends and ghouls says fear makes the fairy fight his juice. One more time. Yes. Got it. First, your
Heart starts a pumping.
Your pulse a jumping like a
right,
kangaroo.
yes. Then your
muscles start attention.
Your senses sensing everything
very
around
good.
you.
Your sympathetic nervous system gets you pumping like a piston whenever danger appears.
That's the signs of.
Primitive for lines of.
That's the signs of fear.
Again.
It's the source of our supernatural force of our. That's the signs of fear.
Again.
That's the signs of fear. That's the signs of fear. That's the signs of. That's all coming out.
That's how you know you're alive.
Charlie in the trees.
Well, it looks like we've got time for one letter. Dear Princeton, there are hot single moms in your area looking to forget about their troubles for a while. Let's put this one away. But we would love to hear from you. Please send us an email at princetonvice@gmail.com. Follow us at Twitter at Princeton Vice and like and subscribe us on YouTube under Princeton Vice Presents. Ask us a question. Recommend something spooky. Send us a joke. Know what that sound means. Now it's time for our playdate to end. We've watched old films and we've met old friends. And maybe made some new friends too, like Dr. Buggy. I can be your friend if you want me to. Thanks for watching Princeton Vice. Let me offer this advice. Eat, drink, and be scary. For tomorrow we die.
You're gonna die.
For tomorrow we die.
You're gonna die.
For tomorrow we die.
Aye, that's the stuff. First, your heart starts a pumping, your pulse a jumping like a kangaroo. Then your muscles are tensing, your senses sensing everything around you. That's thanks to adrenaline.
What's adrenaline?
Well, my dears, as the source of our supernatural force of our, that's the signs of fear. Adrenaline's the hormone.
With the help of his final intended victim and the local prosecutor. Be the science question for Mr. Buggy. Dr. Buggy! Sorry, Dr. Buggy, yes.